Hello, this is Flights in Asia, and in this video, we'll be heading to Australia where recently the national airline Qantas has been mired in controversy, which has led to scrutiny on the once highly regarded airline by the Australian public. Within the past few months, Qantas has faced highly publicized scrutiny and scandals. Among them has been the use of the COVID-19 travel credits that were issued to travelers affected by the shutdown of air travel during the COVID-19 pandemic. Separately, the airline has also faced criticism by the drop in service quality, highlighted by a rise in passenger complaints. Within its own ranks, there has been criticisms of the management of the airline, as it also has faced challenges from its employees. The controversy and scrutiny on Qantas has become a political issue in Australia, falling historic highs for the airline as it rides the wave of the global post-pandemic travel recovery. Following 3 years of losses amounting to 7 billion Australian dollars, Qantas has made a huge recovery, recording a record annual profit and setting sights to the future with ambitious future fleet plans. However, now, the ambitious plans for the airline's future and the record recovery has been dampened by the recent controversies the airline has been facing. The first of these controversies that has drawn the ire of Qantas's own customers has been the use of the COVID-19 travel credits. Following the shutdown of global travel amid the pandemic, Qantas reported the worth of the travel credits to be around 400 million Australian dollars. With passenger travel plans affected by the shutdowns and travel restrictions, this followed most other airlines around the world, though now the complaints for the airline has stemmed from the passengers not being able to use the credits for bookings. Reports have also surfaced that Qantas customers have also had difficulties getting refunds for unused bookings. Qantas has addressed this as in a report to Executive Traveler. The airline's chief customer officer, Marcus Svensson, said, quote, "The majority of COVID credits we hold can be converted into refunds, but we can't do it automatically as the credit cards used for the purchase as far back as 2019 may have expired." Because of this, Svensson also pointed out to difficulties of sending checks for the refunds as addresses for the customers may have changed since the start of the pandemic. This was one major issue, but the bigger issue came following recent hearings at the Australian Senate over the figures of the travel credits owed to affected customers during the pandemic. After repeated questioning and inquiry, Qantas would eventually give the details, which included its budget carrier Jetstar, and that figure for the travel credits would be much higher, worth around 570 million Australian dollars. Following the inquiries and the criticisms of travelers who have been unable to use the travel credits, Qantas has since lifted the expiry of the travel credits, previously set by year's end. Another major issue that has been a point of contention for Qantas's customers in Australia especially has been the reduction of service quality and a rising number of complaints among travelers of issues ranging from higher ticket costs and flight delays and cancellations. This rise in airline customer complaints towards Qantas has been noted by organizations such as the Australia-based Airline Customer Advocate. As Qantas has faced a growing number of complaints from travelers, the airline has been facing legal issues, which has resulted in some legal action. During the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, Qantas laid off 1,700 workers from 10 airports in Australia. While the workers lost their jobs, Qantas would fill their roles outsourcing the work, which led to a legal battle initiated by Australia's Transport Worker Union, accusing Qantas of illegally outsourcing the work of displaced employees, breaching Australia's Fair Work Act. This legal battle would continue, and two rulings initially were made in favor of the union and the workers before the Australian High Court upheld the lower court rulings. These are just some of the controversies that have been linked to Qantas, and the fallout has come following the recent Senate hearings in the Australian Senate. And now, with the public ire on Qantas, the airline is facing further legal scrutiny from the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission. Recently, the ACCC has announced it would take legal action against Qantas over the advertising of tickets that were cancelled but not removed. According to the competition regulator of Australia, the tickets in question covered 8,000 between May and July of 2022. In a statement, the ACC said, quote, "We allege that Qantas's conduct in continuing to sell tickets to cancelled flights and not updating ticket holders about cancelled flights left customers with less time to make alternative arrangements and may have led them paying higher prices to fly at a particular time, not knowing that the flight has already been cancelled." Along with this legal challenge, the ACC has also blocked the expanded partnership between Qantas and China Eastern, citing competition concerns. For many years, Qantas has been a highly regarded airline in the Australian public, as it's considered a national airline. But recently, this reputation has been tarnished amid the scandals and the controversies the airline has been going through. It is a very highly unprecedented time for the airline as it faces challenges on multiple fronts, from the public relations, regulators, the traveling public, and also its own employees. This recent situation for Qantas has led to the resignation of the former CEO, Alan Joyce, and the position has now been taken over by Vanessa Hudson, who not only has big shoes to fill but also has the task of bringing back the trust of the Australian public of its own airline. In a recent statement by Qantas, "While there is much work to do right across the group, we can't lose sight of the many positives. This includes the fact that we are tackling the current challenges with strong financial foundations, in stark contrast to the past few years, giving us the ability to invest in customers, new aircraft, and more people. We're determined to bring Qantas back to its position as one of the most trusted brands. That can only happen by consistently delivering to the standards people rightly expect, and the board is working closely with Vanessa and her new management team to ensure that happens." This renewed effort to regain the trust of the Australian traveling public has also resulted in an increase in the budget for customer improvements for the fiscal year 2024 to address what the airline has described as a number of customer pain points. Regarding the management of the airline, Qantas has stated it would reduce short-term incentives for senior executives for the fiscal year 23 by 20% in recognition of the customer and brand impact of cumulative events. Regarding this, the airline said, quote, "While the ACC's recent allegations are untested, the board understands shareholder and community concerns about them coinciding with significant executive pay outcomes. As part of good governance, after applying the 20% reduction of the board, will withhold the balance of the FY23 short-term incentive for senior executives while this matter progresses." As clearly as it is, 2023 has been a turbulent year in the eyes of the public for Qantas. Though now looking ahead, Qantas has a tall task of regaining the trust of the Australian traveling public. Thank you for watching. I definitely hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates in the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. Once again, thank you for watching and have a great day.